Photographer's Chronicles episode. Let's go.
Let's go.
What's up, y'all? This installment is actually a week late because of Hurricane Helene. My area was actually affected. I didn't get the episode out because I had to get food and some electricity. Luckily, I wasn't affected too bad. This area is still pretty tough. Nothing compared to the areas of Western North Carolina. So definitely my thoughts and prayers are with them. In lieu of Hurricane Helene, we're actually going to talk about preparedness today. Preparedness is very important when it comes to photography, not only for the photographer, but also for the client. In terms of the client, the things you really want to prepare yourself for is just those things that may not go exactly as you planned. I think it's very important for one to not only plan for just one outfit, go ahead and bring a backup just in case. You never know, things may not fit the way you thought they would fit. You also may spill stuff. The biggest thing I usually get is women when they have to get makeup on their outfits. That is a big win for sure. So because of that, it's definitely a good idea to bring a backup. Another thing is also whites. Usually when people want to have an all-white outfit, white shirts, things like that, it's best to bring another one. Really, too, another thing is go ahead and buy it brand new, just to make sure the white is as white as it can be and it's crisp. A lot of times people don't realize that whites can be very dainty once you've actually worn it a few times. Definitely in the underarm areas, stuff like that. Just go ahead and buy it new. It's just not worth the headache of trying to pose yourself to where it won't show. Another good way to be prepared as women, definitely make sure that you have a hairstyle that is flexible. And make sure that you get some hairpins to be able to move it around. A lot of times with your poses, you have to realize that it's very important to keep the hair out of your face so we can see those beautiful smiles and those bright eyes for sure. Another good tip is also just make sure that you have your accessories there just to freshen up your hairstyle. You know, if you need to slick it back a little bit, if you need to tease it, if there needs to be hairspray, holder spray, things like that. Definitely very important to bring to make sure that you're going to be at your best. And honestly, just a good rule of thumb, go ahead in the night before, just make sure that you go over everything before your photo shoot. Make sure that your outfits are laid out, everything is ironed. Make sure that your appointments are set as far as your hairstylist, your barber, makeup artist, things like that, just to try to make things flow as smooth as possible. Now, from a photographer's point of view, I think one of the best ways that you can prepare is actually make sure that you have a good, strong knowledge of photography. And what I mean by that is that there are situations that you may have to shoot in studio, and there are situations where you may need to shoot outside. The thing about it is if you're flexible and know both of these things, you usually can adjust by those skill sets to compensate for something that you may come up short in, depending on what the situation may be. An example of this is like recently I had actually did a group photo session outside, and I bought my large umbrella. It fell over. It broke. So luckily I bought my smaller umbrella. That's usually not an ideal situation when it comes to large crowds, but because of my knowledge of editing, I knew that I would be able to spread that light a little wider to cover everybody in that photo. Another thing that I adjusted to is I went ahead and posed my group in a different manner. So basically, instead of having them spread out, I basically had them pulled together to make sure that my light would actually hit everybody. I highly suggest if you are a photographer, make sure that you have two bodies, just in case. You never know, something may happen with your camera that doesn't work, that you have another camera body there that you're able to actually still pull off the photo shoot. Make sure you have a couple of lenses, which is already a great idea, just because you want a variety of focal lengths, just to be able to pull out the effect that you want in your photos. Another good situation where just having a good grasp of photography is a good thing is knowing that there's places where you're going to use flash and something may happen to your flashes. So you may have to actually be able to know how to do natural lighting, pull the lights up and still be able to pull off a good photo. And which I think is a good thing to know both of them anyway. A lot of times when I shoot, I'm basically probably going to shoot with my flash and without it, just to give my clients some flexibility and variety when it comes to choosing their final product. And my last example of being flexible for photographers is to make sure that whenever you are actually making your appointments for your clients, make sure that there's some buffer in between your appointments, just to make sure that people, sometimes people are late. It's just something we deal with in this field. And not only that, give yourself some time to rest in between sessions, and sometimes even some time to actually set up for the next photo shoot. And not have to rush. I don't know about everybody else, but me personally, I don't like rushing. It throws me off. Like, my vibe has to be right when it comes to doing photography. So definitely something that's clutch for me. All right, y'all, that's it. Once again, I appreciate everybody rocking with me. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to drop it down here in the comment section, or feel free to actually DM me directly. I have no problem addressing any of those for you. So until next time, y'all be easy.